every week.
I got this.
Let's just
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, resellers across all platforms.
There you go.
Welcome to the Pocket Change podcast, featuring your wait. Here we go. Featuring your favorite host in the world. I don't know. No, Joe, Philly Picker, Dan in the Man, and Jimmy Old School. Not Iron Man today. I'm not Iron Man. I'm not Old School Flips today. I am not Iron Man. Sonia told me. Actually, Sonia said I'm going to start calling you Iron Man at Yorksville.
Oh.
After the last episode of the podcast, which the last episode of the podcast, funny that I say that because this is potentially our last episode of this podcast.
This is?
I mean, according to statistics. Did I say that right? Statistics that I've heard that most podcasts don't make it past 10 episodes. You guys ever hear that?
I didn't hear that.
I think I've heard it on other podcasts before.
I think I just made you guys. I think
you're reusing information from your other podcasts.
No, actually, I heard that Reseller Clickbait podcast talked about that once. Or was it Trash to Cash?
Well, did you talk about it when you were on the Reseller Clickbait podcast?
I think so. No, I think we did. I think we did that. The most podcasts don't make it past 10 episodes, some statistic like that, and this is episode 10 for us. So potentially, based on statistics, this is potentially our last episode.
So do we celebrate next week at episode 11 that we made it past that? Is that
no?
We should definitely celebrate if we make it past that.
All these little milestones that we have here.
Hey, that's what I've heard through the very, very poor grapevine. I mean, it's like this entangled grapevine that actually makes no sense, but that's where I heard it.
Is that why we're recording? Is that why we decided to record early, episode 10? So we wouldn't.
Yeah, just get it done and over with. Yeah, it's like ripping off the Band-Aid.
Now it's all making sense to me.
I mean, now I'm nervous. Now I'm more nervous. I was nervous before because we were recording earlier, so we can make sure we get in all our episodes.
Yeah,
and then now you're putting the pressure on that this is potentially be our last. And if you read the comments for the last one, you're gonna go do some wrestling podcast potentially.
Potentially, yes.
Oh my god, the writing's on the wall here, boys.
It's not a podcast; it's actually wrestling. I'm actually going to be wrestling.
What's your name going to be? Iron Man,
rope, elbow drops, and everything.
The Iron Man of reselling.
Yeah, the Iron Man of reselling. Macho Man Savage.
That's a very long name. You need to come down with a.
No,
you could be old school flips in that too. You could flip off the.
Oh, that could be my
top
finishing
rope
move.
Mm-hmm.
Like your finishing move. Oh, okay.
The old school flips, and an old school flips would be like not even a partial flip. Like it just be like me trying to do a flip, probably landing like on my head and being severely injured.
Have you ever done a flip before? Or how about a cartwheel? Have you ever done a cartwheel?
No, my arms cannot hold up my body. Not a chance. Not a chance.
Joe,
even though I am Iron Man, it's not happening. Joe, can you do a cartwheel? I think if any of us could do a cartwheel, it'd be Joe.
Yeah. I can't fully do a cartwhel, but I try my best.
Can't.
I can't. My daughter Riley is into gymnastics now. She's starting. I think this is maybe like her third or fourth month of gymnastics. So she thinks everybody could do a cartwheel. So when she does it, she asks me to do it. You don't want to see it. It's god awful.
or do we?
I don't know. But
I actually
maybe when I was younger, I probably could have. I remember trying to do a backflip off a diving board. That was
You smacked your head on the diving board?
No, I don't know. Kind of landed on my back flat.
I've done a flip before, Dan. Actually, I have done a flip before. Because that was actually a tough question. I was a big kid and everything. But I remember one time I was playing football, right? And I was actually decent at football, but I was running, right? And I was playing against my brother, and he just stuck his arm out and clotheslined. And my feet were in the air. Like I saw the sky, then I saw the ground again, and I landed, like he made me do a complete flip.
Did you hold on to the ball?
I did not fumble. That's correct. I did not.
Oh, that's good. That's all that matters.
I think he's lying. I think
Yeah,
he's
so
lying though.
That's the only time I know I've done a flip it's still, and I was young, but it's still like seared into my brain, seeing the sky, then seeing the ground again. And I know I did a full flip that day.
So it was kind of like forced on you. You didn't necessarily.
I did not purposely do a flip, and I never would purposely do a flip. So yeah. That's funny.
I don't know. I've attempted a few at the trampoline park, but
don't go to those trampoline parks, man. People get hurt bad at those things.
It feels like you're in a car accident after you leave. Like the next day, I mean, everything hurts. Everything hurts.
Man, that is not good on your ligaments and your ankles.
No.
There was a baseball player that, and I'm going way off topic, but there was a baseball player for like the Yankees that like really hurt his ankle bad at a trampoline park. Like he completely broke his ankle.
Oh,
And
really?
he was out for like a couple of years. Yeah, I remember that. I don't remember his name. Anyway,
yeah, I don't remember him.
so I can't think. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say if you're so this is after the weekend. So now we're gonna be there's no shipping. Like so no one, I mean there's shipping, but I don't think you can't get anything for Christmas, right? By the time this is gonna be out.
Oh, yeah, the deadlines are coming down.
So what are we doing now? We're done. Like this is it. I think tomorrow.
Yeah,
tomorrow and then like tomorrow, right? Like we're recording this Friday, so Saturday, right? Are you gonna do shipping tomorrow? Did you do shipping Saturday? So people get it by Christmas?
I don't know yet.
You haven't decided?
Oh, am I going? I actually shipped a bunch of.
This is so weird. How do we do this? Like,
so it's Friday for everybody listening.
I think we got to tell everybody it's Friday.
Yeah, we all three of us have said that now.
Around 1 p.m.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
1:50 p.m. on Friday.
Eastern,
yes.
So bear with us here. If you're listening on audio, all your favorite audios or YouTube, this is we're only 10 episodes in. This is really weird now because we've our first 9 episodes. We have our little routine we do, and this is weird. I didn't know how this was gonna go.
By the way, I got bad news, guys. We are not a professional podcast.
What does that mean?
My local mailman Greg, who listens to the podcast, I think he said he was listening to it with his wife,
and he hates it.
And she said, "Why do they keep saying they're a professional podcast? They are not."
Oh well, was it Greg?
Was it Greg
or Gary?
Greg?
Yeah, Greg.
That was like 5 episodes ago. We're way past that now. we haven't said that in a while.
Yeah, he did say he was just catching up.
Yeah, we're on episode 10 now.
Yeah,
we're way past.
We are.
Tell like Greg episode 4.
Yeah, 5. Tell Greg to listen to it again with his wife and
keep up.
Maybe not last episode. Radio. Maybe not last episode. Especially towards the end of the video when Dan talks about his room.
Yeah.
So, we're not going to.
When you start talking about dingleberries, you should just turn it off.
Yeah.
Wait, you're only 8 minutes into this. You can't say the word dingleberries yet.
Well, nobody's here. Everybody left already.
Yeah, well, that'll get the hardcores to go back and watch the last episode at the end when we talk about dingleberry. And I want to can I do that overlay that I was practicing real quick? Because I got to. Dan, the Answer Man, who my friend back in Colorado, he sent me this picture of me as Iron Man. So I got for those watching, if you're listening, you should come over real quick to the 8-9 minute mark and check out this picture of me as Iron Man right here. Look at that, guys.
Yeah, come over to YouTube. Also subscribe to us over there too.
So Dan, thank you for sending that picture. That we got a good laugh out of that. I shared with a couple people, because I made the. What would it be like the proclamation? I don't know that I am Iron Man at yard sales, and you guys got quite the kick out of that. So,
well, we did. I'm sure most of the audience did too.
I do cartwheels at. That's the only time I do cartwheels is at yard sales, actually.
Yeah. Did you wait? Did you do cartwheels at the bins?
No, I do not. But
Have you been in the bins since I last seen you?
I have. I got some good news at the bins. So I'm standing there.
You didn't fight with anybody, and you didn't almost get arrested and all that.
That lady has not been back.
Okay, that's good.
I met a viewer, Jessica. Thank you we talked for quite a while. It was awesome meeting you. If you're watching the podcast, thank you so much. Comment and let us know you're watching.
Hi, Jessica.
Hey, Jessica.
while that same day while I was there, Sonia's talking to this lady. Like she's just having a real deep and like I could see Sonia's getting like heated in conversation. So is this lady, like not in a bad way. It was just like a really and so I just kind of walk on there like, what's going on? And everything like, and that lady was like talking to Sonia about the altercation that I had. She was there. She saw it happen when the lady was going to call the police on me and stuff. And she's like, oh my gosh. She goes to me, first of all, you didn't do anything wrong. Like that lady has a reputation. She goes to the other bins down south and like everybody over there knows about her and stays away from her. And I was like, man, you could have given me like a heads up. Like give me like a signal or something when she was getting mad at me. Like I didn't realize that she has, so kind of verifies that I'm not the crazy one, even though I am a little bit out of control. Yeah, Sonia's like, yeah, that lady came up to me and told me, like, I'm so sorry, like that. I don't know what was going on, but like your husband didn't deserve that. And so, anyways, and I'm just making that up to make me sound good.
Okay. Well, did you find anything good at the bins?
Yeah, this last trip to the bins was really good. We found vintage clothes like crazy, like single stitch champion. I found a single stitch champion Ohio State shirt. We found a all over print liquid blue. What was the not Bob Marley? Oh, no, the other one was who's the band with Jerry Garcia?
The Grateful Dead.
The Grateful Dead. Yeah, it's a tie dye all over print liquid blue with the bus in the middle of it.
Oh, I've never found a Grateful Dead shirt.
Was it liquid? It was like the vintage liquid blue?
Yeah,
like the screen printed, like, or I guess I don't know.
No, it's got the tag. It doesn't have the screen print. It's got the tag, liquid blue. Sonia found that, of course. Sonia found it. She likes to dig through the clothes quite a bit more than I do. I have it listed for 130. We'll see. I don't know if I'll get it, but I have it listed there.
Oh, nice. I saw a liquid blue shirt last week or this week.
How many of you? Like I was telling Sonia, that's the only second one we've ever found. Like there was only one other liquid blue that I've ever found.
I only found one, and it wasn't vintage or anything. It was a screen printed one, so I don't know, but it was a Chicago Cubs one. It was really cool. I just sold it. I had it listed for a long time. I just sold it this last week, $30. Right, it was brand new, but it was listed for a long time.
Yeah, liquid blue is a good. If you can find the all over print, which means there's print on every inch of the shirt, man, those are worth some money. The other one I found was like a guitar. Is Robert Pack a guitarist? Is that the name?
I don't know.
I can't think of. I don't know if I got the name right, but it was a famous guitarist on, and it was his whole, like it was all him. The entire shirt was him just playing the guitar. It was really cool. But that was years ago. That's why I can't remember exactly.
I never found a liquid blue shirt.
No, you just find all over print Darth Maul.
Only one time. So,
Joe.
Yes.
Let's do some reseller talk.
Okay. Hit me with something.
Joe has done some behind the scenes work with his eBay page this week because we talked a little bit about it. Did you do some work on a feedback situation?
I did. It took me a lot of work and a lot of time. So I got a negative feedback on a package that was not delivered. So the guy never reaches out to me, and it's an $8. I'm telling you, I have most of my problem with the lowest dollar items that I sell. This was an $8 back to a PlayStation remote. It wasn't even a PlayStation. It was a Logitech PlayStation remote. And it was just a battery compartment. I bought the whole controller, but it didn't work. So I just ended up selling the back piece. And so I sent it out to the guy, and the guy never contacts me. I think it's delivered or whatever. And then I get this negative feedback saying that item never arrived.
Yeah. And the tracking showed that, right? The tracking showed that was like.
Well, after I saw the feedback, I checked the tracking and saw that the tracking said that it was an insufficient address.
So
I reached out to the guy, and I told him that it was something wrong with the address or whatever. And he said, he just wrote back. He said, I get Amazon packages and eBay packages all the time delivered to my place. It's not, whatever.
Yeah. But
so I did some digging. Sometimes I said this before in the podcast. Sometimes I do end up looking at like Googling the address, and it showed that it was this huge apartment building. And then I looked it up even more. It was like 600 units or something in this apartment building. And there was no apartment address. So I asked him if he had an apartment address or whatever. He said that he did. I said, well, it's not on the track. We were back and forth with, So I did ask him if he did have the I'll track it down. I'll do my best to track it down. If whatever, could you what's it called? Do a revision, feedback revision or whatever and all that. And he said that he won it because he doesn't have his package and he's going to go look for it somewhere else and all that. So I called eBay after all these. Well, I didn't call them. I tried to track them down with, sending them messages, and then hopefully they would say, we'll contact you type thing.
Yep. But
I kept on going into the live chat, trying to chat with the, people. And of course it wasn't going down with they weren't understanding what I was saying. Finally, after about maybe an hour of doing the chats back and forth, someone did reach out to me. I talked to somebody at eBay. eBay told me that they would not take the feedback away because it was that guy's experience that he had. He wrote his experience of what he had.
Cut and paste. That's the cut and paste answer. Everybody's
Yeah. So I tried it. I said, is there anybody else I could talk to or whatever? The woman told me, no, there's nobody I could talk to. It's not qualified for our eBay, to take it removal. I said, even with the screenshots of the insufficient address, I mean, I have no control over what, address that guy puts in there for his address. I copied, I printed the label through eBay, everything. She said no. So I still can't track down the package. I put in a request with USPS to track the package or whatever. Somebody from USPS called me. USPS called me and said that they'll look into it, but it has to be 14 days before you do a lost package thing and all this other stuff. But I did ask him about that address because the phone call came from Maryland where it was. And he said, yeah, that's a huge apartment complex. There should be an apartment address. He's familiar with it. Yeah. So I sent a couple more messages back to eBay. Like I said, this is taking hours now. It's probably not even worth going through the whole process of doing this, but it was just the point that it was there. And I finally got through to somebody else on eBay, and the guy ended up taking it away, but not because of the address thing, not because he put the wrong address in. They ended up, he wrote something in there. He wrote something about, they did it like, what's it called? Feedback extortion or whatever.
Yeah.
He told me, like, in one of the emails, he said, fix the problem or I'll leave you other negative feedback, something crazy like that. And since he wrote that in the message, he already left me the negative feedback. So I don't know what else he could have did, maybe added on to the negative feedback or whatever.
I don't think you can do that, can you?
I don't know.
What happens if you send him a revision and then he revised it by, I'm giving this guy a double negative feedback because he won't fix the problem.
Right. So
do you think he left his apartment building number off because he knew he would be able to get his package and then he could show that it wasn't getting delivered and then he would be able to get it, give you negative feedback and get a refund all at the same time?
I don't know. I mean, I still don't know where the package is.
Well, it's at his house.
It's probably at his house.
Yeah.
But I also
have a doorman at the apartment building. It might be at their house.
It could be. But I ended up.
The doorman needed a Logitech back of a remote.
I ended up talking to my mailman here, and he said,
"What's his name? Greg?
I don't even know what his name is.
Oh, you don't even know the name of it?
I think it's Tom. I'm new. He's a new mailman for me, whatever.
I've been there since June. It's December.
July.
6 months. Oh, 5 months.
Okay, well.
In 5 months, you couldn't introduce yourself as Joe?
I think it's Tom. He knows my name. He delivers my packages.
Obviously, he knows your name.
Yeah.
But did you take the time to listen and find out what his name is? He might have the package. Maybe he's using it to make a controller to drive his postal truck.
I don't know, but listen, he did tell me. He said, have the guy go to his nearest post office, whatever the post office near him.
He's
he said,
going.
99% of the time that package will sit there for a long time because it's a legitimate address. It just doesn't have. So most of the time, the people when they're not, they don't get their mail because of the address, the apartment number not being on there. They'll just go to the post office.
That's what a normal person would do.
So I said to him, I said, if you don't mind, just if you check your local post office, it's probably there or whatever. And he said, it's not. He didn't sign up for this. He didn't sign up to order something online to go pick it up for, which I understand. But I think the end.
I disagree with that totally, though.
Well, I mean, you order something online, you expect it to show up at your house. But if you don't put the right address in, I mean, it's not my, I can't help that. I had no idea what apartment number he lives in. You know what I mean?
Well, pick a number 1 through 600.
Yeah, true.
I just feel like I've always felt this way, and maybe I'm always off base on stuff, so I'm probably wrong. I mean,
definitely,
but it's not just a seller's it's not just the seller that's relying on the postal service. If you shop online, you are making the decision to rely on the postal service as well. That you chose to shop online. You rely on them just as much as the seller does to deliver that package. It's not just on the seller to rely on them. It's both of you. It's both parties that rely on them to do their job.
Right. I mean, this is a completely. An easy fix is you put your correct address in. I mean, that's the easiest, fix in the world. You know what I mean? It's not something that. I did on my part by not including the right address because it was never in eBay's. Right. eBay, when I talked to the first woman at eBay, she did tell me that there's no apartment address to it. And I told her, I said, I Googled the address.
Yep.
And it's a 600-unit apartment building.
So
I talked to somebody from the post office who said it was a 600-unit apartment building.
So for someone listening that might not be familiar with everything and how all this works, this to me, because it's ridiculous to me, I would be like, no, you're taking that feedback down. Like, let me keep going. And I probably would never win, but I'd be pretty upset because
you would turn into the Hulk.
I would turn into the Hulk this time.
Another Marvel character.
Take the Iron Man off and then put the Hulk back on.
If it's DC, I'm being a villain. So in this case, I'd be maybe Thor. I'd grow some long hair.
No, the Hulk.
Okay, the Hulk.
It'll start turning green.
Because of the rage, yeah. So, because what Joe's saying is, when you place an order on eBay, as a buyer, it's your job to fill. Joe doesn't fill out the address. Joe doesn't. No. Joe buys the label from eBay based on the information that the buyer put into the order. The buyer's job is to fill out their address correctly and it even prompts you before you push pay. It shows you the address right there, and you're supposed to double check everything. So this buyer didn't do that. They didn't put their apartment number in the address field. So Joe just buys the label from eBay that's provided by eBay based on the buyer's information, slaps it on the package and throws it out the door. And then it doesn't arrive because insufficient information. It doesn't have the apartment number. And then now eBay won't take the feedback down even though the buyer is the one that made the mistake.
Because they said the feedback is based on the experience they have with the transaction and with the seller. And their experience was they didn't. I'll actually read the feedback from the actual feedback from.
I just want to say I've heard that exact same response because it's like a cut and paste answer that they give.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And they took it. I don't. Did I?
Yeah, it literally says something along the lines of their feedback is based on their experience and blah blah blah.
Did you get a survey yet about your experience with eBay, Joe? You could let them know about your experience.
Well, I don't even know if I want to share some inside information that I have.
Oh, for the concierge.
It is concierge information, actually.
Yeah, share it. Just share it.
Well, it says the actual feedback that they left is that something must have gone wrong in transit or whatnot because I never received my product. Still waiting. That's all he left. And that's in the eBay sided with him saying, the initial person sided with him saying that was his experience with me, is that his package never arrived. But if you took it a step further and went to the tracking information, it says that it was attempted to be delivered on December 1st, out for delivery with a red mark that says insufficient address. So, I mean, I guess that's his experience with me, but the insufficient address,
Did
I
you
think,
block
falls
him?
back.
You better block.
No, I'll do that after.
Oh my god!
If you haven't learned anything from Dan, at least learn this: block that motherfucker.
Oh yeah, I blocked like 5 people last week.
5? It's a slow week
least.
for you, huh? Slow week.
At least.
Yeah.
Good. We don't have to talk about my inside information.
Why?
No, go ahead. I mean, you
I
teased us
do.
with it.
I have concierge, which means I can push a button and I'll get a call back from eBay. Like I don't have to go through the steps that Joe just talked about. I'm a big deal.
I mean,
I'm sort of a big deal.
You are.
But
We're supposed to be a humble podcast, Jimmy.
No humble. I'm
here.
Iron Man. Oh wait, no, I'm not Iron Man.
We just lost all the pity. We had pittiness felt from Joe. Like poor Joe, this sorry sap.
Poor Joe.
Poor
So
Joe.
if you would have had concierge like I do,
Joe, read us that negative feedback again. Maybe we can get people back on our side.
Well, no, I don't. I'm thinking maybe next time, since Jimmy only has to hit a button, he'll call for me.
Yeah.
And say, hey, listen, I do this.
This is Joe. This is Joe. You need to. This is
I do this professional podcast with this guy named Joe. Can you help him out?
Nope.
And he's a professional podcaster, so we need to help. About 3 months ago, I was talking to my concierge that was helping me with a negative feedback. And they explained to me that the policy will be changing for negative feedback removal. And it's not going to be something that's very done regularly anymore.
What, they're not going to remove it regularly?
Yeah.
So
and he even said, even with you, and I was like, he's like, even with you, like, all right, here's some information since it's basically gone now. Having the concierge, I had what they would call complimentary removals, like 2 in a rolling year. Those are 100% gone. Those do not exist anymore. He said that's the first thing that they're getting rid of. There will, I could twice a year. I'll say I never really had to use them. I think I had to use them a couple times in 5 years, but it did exist for people that had concierge. It was a complimentary negative feedback removal, like twice in a rolling year again. And if you use both, then you wouldn't have them till they reset type thing, whatever. He said those are going to be gone. Like those are gone. They don't exist anymore.
I'm sorry for your loss, Jimmy.
Yeah. No, I
don't know how you're going to handle it without it.
I don't either.
I feel really bad for you.
I don't have anything to brag about having this concierge anymore.
So ask him what his job. What's he going to be doing? Is he going to start reselling?
He probably resells.
Yeah,
the concierge. What's he going to be doing?
He definitely.
Like he can't take off. He's got a rolling clock that's gone. He's not going to take anything down for you.
I mean, they're still there for other reasons. Like what did I have to call them for this last time? I don't remember.
Why are they so busy talking to you? They can't even answer Joe.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I paid a lot of money for the concierge as far as the cost to go to the eBay Open, but
how much was it?
Was just the Open was $400, and then I had to pay for a hotel room, and I had to, all that stuff too. So I mean,
Joe could go on vacation too.
All right.
So where do you want to go do on vacation so you get a concierge?
Jimmy, I'll split the 400 with you. All right.
Yeah. I will admit that it's been the best part of the eBay Open was getting that concierge service. Like to this day, like whenever I have a question or I have an issue with any kind of with an order, I get a call back.
That's all gone.
The concierge is still there.
It's going to be gone.
His power to take negative feedback away is gone.
Yeah, and he was real like upfront with me. He was like, "It's going to be different for everybody. Like, it's going to kind of level the playing field, if you want to call it that. Like, because basically nobody's going to get that stuff removed unless it is that feedback. What would you call it? Extortion. There you go. Yeah.
So do you think people? I know this comes up a lot, but do you care about your feedback? And I mean, I know we always say on here, we always talk about it. So something bad's gonna happen to us, but
Yeah,
but
I already know. I'm probably gonna check right now, and I probably have it now.
I mean, do you care? Like, how much do you care? Like, if it's gonna
I
be
don't
less, do you think they're gonna care less? eBay's gonna care less? Like
I don't
just like seeing 100%, but
I would say I don't care about the feedback if it's something that I did.
yeah.
Like if I make the mistake, which I did this week, I sent 2 packages out that went to the wrong people that I'm still trying to.
But a lot of
I would agree
the
with
things,
Joe 100%. If it's my fault and I can't get it removed, then I got what I deserve. But when it's something like what Joe just dealt with, like that,
I agree
eBay
with that.
Step up, like
Because I always feel like if I let that one slide, that wasn't my fault. Then like I'm going to screw up again. Like I said, like 2 days after this, I got this negative feedback. I sent 2 packages out to the wrong people, and of course they're on different sides of the coast, and you know, and it's good, you know. That was a nightmare. I'm sending shipping labels to the other person. Luckily, one guy seemed to be okay with forwarding that package for me.
right.
So, I mean, maybe I'll dodge this bullet too without a negative. But if I get one because of I sent the wrong product out to the wrong person, then I'll take that one. But to let the ones that are not your fault slip through, I think that's where.
Yeah, but in that case, in that situation that you had the negative feedback, just if someone was going to buy something and they really cared about it, and they read it, like a logical person would be like, well, what the heck does that have to do with him?
Well,
my thing was
the problem with the way that negative was left is that it almost sounds like I just didn't send out his product.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
No,
So
you'd be able to respond.
Yeah,
you left me insufficient evidence or insufficient address. But
yeah, I mean, I would
if you're on
respond to that.
Macari, when I make a sale on Macari and people you have to they rate you to get so you can get paid unless it goes 3 days and it automatically rates you. But if they rate you and they rate you low for something, you can't reply and you can't get it removed at all on there. Like it's just there. So like I have dings on my account for slow shipping because people have bought items on like a holiday weekend. So they buy it Saturday and Monday's a holiday and it doesn't go out till Tuesday. And then you can't do anything about it. So they mark you down 2-3 stars, but there's just literally, you can't even reply to that. So it looks, you get a couple of those and then you're like, you're out of luck there too. And then on Poshmark really doesn't, Poshmark, you can't even see what someone's rated. You don't even see they rate you, but like only you can see it. It's annoying when people do stuff it's annoying when people are kind of liars about it when they're lying.
Yeah.
But
I have this idea that I think eBay should. I've had this idea for a while. I think that eBay should require the buyer to send at least one message to the seller and the seller. Send at least one message to the seller trying to resolve it before they can leave negative feedback. I think that should be a requirement. Hey, before you leave this, you have to contact the seller and try to resolve it before you can leave this negative feedback. Because I don't think that's the one that drives me the craziest. Like they never contacted me, they never tried to resolve it. It's just all of a sudden there. Like that's what Joe just dealt with.
Yeah. I had no idea that package was missing or not delivered.
Yeah.
The first time I knew about it is when I got the negative feedback.
So if you're listening, which I know you're not, 100%, we don't even have 200 people listening right now. No, but eBay, if you're listening, like that's an easy thing to just add. Like, hey, before you leave this negative feedback, you're required to message the seller to try to resolve this. If they are not able to resolve it, then you can leave the negative feedback.
Yeah.
Because I think that's because Dan asked, do you care about this is going to sound cheesy and definitely not like me, but I do care because I care that I provided good service. Like I actually do care about my customers, my buyers, and I want to provide the best service possible. And I always try to resolve issues. Like I've resolved a lot of issues in my years of doing this where the feedback never even was brought up because I did provide really good service to the buyer, and I care about that. So
and you have a concierge that takes care of it.
and if you're really pissed off, you just call it. You call it. What's the concierge name? What's his name?
No, there's multiple. There's multiple.
We'll just name them. We'll come up with a name.
I can't think of any of their names right now because it's always somebody different. It's never the same person. It's like a center. You can. It's not so concierge isn't like a guy that I call every. It's just a service, and you can tell it's like a call center but it's in the United States, and they call me back. They're based at the eBay in California, and so someone in that center will call me back. It's never the same person though.
His name's probably like I don't know.
Yeah, Joe, why don't you name it? What's the
I
name?
mean, they're awesome.
What's the name probably like?
Hi James, we appreciate your 5 years of great. So great.
The guy, you said the concierge, the last one you talked to, if someone, hey, James, how are you? I think I would know his name. Not like my mailman.
No, he's saying James like he's the concierge, and he's pretending that he's talking to himself.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Hey, James, Jimmy, James.
So they asked me my name. They asked for my full name first because they want to kind of verify who I am. So they asked me, can I get your first and last name? Then I say it, and then they go, hey, James, thanks for 5 years of great partnership with eBay.
You've only been on eBay for 5 years?
Oh, over 5 years now, but they just say 5 because I'm not quite to 6 years.
Yeah. Well, every time I gotta verify my name. Verify my name through eBay for whatever reason. I don't know. I guess when I signed up for eBay and made my account first, I was never when I first made my account, I was just buying on eBay, but I just must have put Joe in there. So whenever they ask us, I say my full name, Joseph, and they're like, "Are you known by any other name?" I'm like, "Oh, it's Joe." Like,
oh, I guess I should have said, "Yeah, I go by James when I fill out." Yeah. So they're like, "Dude," I remember my wife used to call me at work. Can I talk to Jimmy? And everybody be like, "Who's Jimmy?" And I was like, and I would tell my coworkers, "Well, my friends and family call me Jimmy. That's why you guys call me James."
So when you went to work, they called you James?
Well, when I had to whenever I looking for a job, I'd have to fill out an application as James because that's my legal name. And it's on my, so I would fill out, and then it would just kind of stick, like my bosses would call me by my name on the application. And so then it just kind of stuck, except for when when I became a mechanic, then I got Jimmy on my shirt, and then Jimmy was what I went by as a mechanic because I had it on my shirt because I was official like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, my last job as a customer service rep was in an office, and my boss just called me James from the start, and it just kind of stuck. So
I went for a few years. My supervisor called me Georgie, and I never corrected him. Like when he would see me, what's up, Georgie?
Oh, you're going by Georgie.
What's up, boss? How are you? I didn't have the heart to tell him. It went on for too long.
It's better than Paul.
It went well, yeah, but it went.
You can call you Paul. I did the same thing when I was at the casino when I started blackjack dealing. I had my name tag. It said Dan on it, but the A was lowercase and the N was lowercase. And a casino shift manager saw Don, thought he saw Don, so he called me Don. And I just did. I was so nervous and scared of him. I went by Don by him, and then they're like, "Who's Don?"
We've had these people fooled for 10 episodes. This is Georgie and Don. What's going on?
Yeah.
Joe and Dan.
He was such a nice guy too. He was such a nice guy. He would come up, Georgie, how you doing? Like he would shake the hand, give me a hug sometimes.
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
I didn't have the heart to tell him that my name was Joe. I mean,
I just don't even know how that happens.
The best, I don't know how it even came up or anything else. But the best part is he would explain to people like, "Oh, I just talked to Georgie out in the parking lot or whatever," and people would look at him like he's nuts. But nobody corrected him. Nobody ever corrected him.
So he would still think you're Georgie right now.
So like if he saw me today, he would call me Georgie.
And would you respond?
I would say, "What's up?"
Was that Georgie with how do you spell Georgie?
I don't know.
He didn't ever ask you.
Georgie's the kid from the movie It, right? Look, Georgie's the one that goes missing in the movie It.
Oh, really? I don't think I've ever seen it.
Well, that
You
movie's
see
pretty
it?
scary. Probably wouldn't. Now Dawn could easily, I could see that, like how you could think Dan says Dawn,
Yeah,
unless it was spelled DAWN, then that would be different. But
that'd be
DON,
Dawn.
Dawn.
Dawn. What's the difference? Dawn and Dawn.
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 I don't know, but I didn't have the heart to tell him. So
Yeah, I mean Georgie Philly Picker doesn't roll that well, and definitely Dawn and Demand doesn't work. So you gotta stick with Dan.
That would just be the Dawn.
the Dawn.
That would be it. That would be.
We were talking about being humble.
Dan, were you known by any other names in the casino?
Yeah. Oh, we don't want to talk about nicknames.
Oh,
We gotta talk about something reseller. Let's talk something fun, not some boring feedback you guys are talking about. And,
Okay,
and how Jimmy's so great with his concierge.
Well, I didn't want to talk about that. I guess I did.
Wait,
I didn't
you had that was the thing. No, you said you didn't. It was some private information between you and your concierge.
Well, I had to. I guess. Well, I mean, that was part of it because, like I said, concierge did provide those complimentary.
I feel like the concierge name's probably like Skip or something like that.
I'm not sure if anyone else that listens to this podcast has a concierge, so none of them can relate. So Jimmy, you've ruined another episode. Thank you.
What do you mean another? I didn't know I had a reputation. Listen, I've been fired from this podcast multiple times already.
Not just this one either, right?
I'm crying.
Congratulations.
I'm just waiting for Mike to drop in. I'm waiting for Mike. Hey,
he was busy today. I'm like, hey, we're gonna record a little bit earlier, or we're gonna record next episode. Do you want to come in? He's like, oh yeah, I think I'm available on Tuesday. I'm like, oh, we're doing it on Friday. He's like, oh, I'm busy on Friday. I'm like, okay, we'll try maybe the next week.
Joining that recruiting effort for Mike.
Wait, you're gonna start helping? You're gonna start helping Mike? Come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna start recruiting him too. All the heat I've been getting for my concierge.
Wait, so okay. Anyway,
let's talk about drop shipping because there's some drop shipping issues some drop shipping drama going on, right?
Yeah. Well, Joe, you want to take the lead on this? You're a big drop shipper, right?
I've drop shipped a few items in my day. I'm not saying I'm proud of it, but I've done it.
Joe, have you done it? Sorry. What is drop shipping, real quick? Before you ask that, tell us what drop shipping is, Joe.
Basically, like you're the middleman, of.
Oh, hey, you're the Don. You're talking to the Don, and you got the middleman.
So, have you drop shipped as a buyer? I mean, have you done it because you needed to do it?
I've done it out of
because you're trying to make some money.
No, I've done it out of necessity. I've done it out of. So basically, if I sold an item that I couldn't find, which it happens a lot to me.
How often do you lose an item?
I'm really not that organized. I don't know. I've been pretty good lately, but there are been times where I've sold something and couldn't find it, or I sold something and I broke it, or I sold something and when I'm getting ready to pack it, because I used a sell similar listing, I never changed the size. I sold the exact same item as an extra large, and I'm selling a small. You know what I mean?
You need to do an inventory, buddy.
Yeah, well, I need to do a lot of things, Jimmy.
You need some checks in place.
Yeah, I do. I do. That's part of my problem.
It's basically if you're a seller, you ship something to your buyer from another
store
or seller. Yeah, you're not actually shipping it to them yourself. You go on there, you buy it, and you put in your buyer's address, so it shows you never physically had the item. It goes from another seller to your buyer. That's what drop shipping is, right?
So a couple times that I've done it in my cases where I sold a Eagles jersey, and it was a Carson Wentz Eagles jersey. If you remember Carson Wentz, but I was selling a size small, but my listing said it was a size extra large. So of course I panicked or whatever, and I just ended up buying an extra large on eBay and sending it to the guy that bought it from me, and kept the size small jersey. Now I've done it some other times where I've lost an item.
So you're the one that posted Dave's comic book, then, aren't you?
Yeah, Dave.
That's
If you're listening, I marked your comic books up $650.
What are you guys doing? You guys are gonna ruin our podcast by saying that.
We weren't supposed to say that Joe's the one that listed ADHD.
Yeah, people are seriously gonna think that Joe did that now.
You think so?
Yes.
It's under my
oh my God.
my burner
take over here. I have to take both of you. Shut up.
It's under my burner accounts. I'll never.
So you have to go back to the beginning of this episode when I said I apologize because we don't really know what we're doing right now because this is episode 10 and we're recording early because of the holidays and we all have like some kind of fog brain and we got on here and we're like we don't really know what we're going to talk about today. So I mentioned that I just got done watching ADH Dave's video and I go people are probably going to talk about this before this is going to come out, but I found it interesting that Dave is selling these comic books. They're super expensive. He has one listed for like $1,500. And on a video he was watching, a video I was watching, someone took his listing and copied it, pictures, everything, and listed it for like $2,000. I don't know if I have the same numbers. Stop pointing at him because people are going to honestly think it's Joe. And Joe's laughing. Joe, I know you're going to call me later and worry about this. Because you're gonna think that people are gonna think that it really is you. Because I'm starting to think I'm trying to defend you, but I'm starting to think you might have really done that. But I don't think it was Joe.
It's only to make a few extra $100 real quick.
Oh my God,
a few $100.
Yeah, is it really doing this?
They don't call him Drop Ship Joe for nothing.
Oh my God, did you do it for real?
Yeah, it's on my my burner account, something supply company. I forget what it is.
Are you serious?
Watch his video. He
I watched the video. He never mentioned that it's. I don't even know what's going on right now. Is it really you?
I figured this would be the perfect opportunity for me to come out and say it's me.
I don't know. Are you being serious? I'm totally confused now.
Hey, you might have to sleep with the fishes if we let out too much more information on this, though, Dan. You might know too much already. You might know too much.
I'm leaving. I'm out of here. You guys
Well, that was easy. All right, so when you cross-posted Dave's comic book, you stole all his pictures and you posted it back on. Watch this. Watch. He doesn't know that I have the power.
I'm out of here. I'm not. Back. I feel like I don't. Joe, I don't know if I know you. Like I thought I would know you. Jimmy, what did you like corrupt? I don't know if you. I'm saying. Hey. I don't. Is it really you, Joe?
I'm gonna tell my story.
So let's hear.
Some people say that I stole his photos, but I just borrowed them.
It's from the catalog.
Yeah.
As long as it's still the catalog, you're all right.
So is Dan coming back in, or is he
I don't
really
think
done?
Let's. Okay, this has been a joke, folks. It's just been a joke.
Yes.
We're gonna talk a little bit about though ADHD Dave's most recent video. If Dan would come back and explain to everybody what happened on ADH Dave's.
I'm not coming back until Joe says it wasn't him.
I just said it wasn't me. I was kidding. I'm not the drop.
I put a lot of work into trying to get us to do a podcast, and you're going to ruin it by saying this. What are you doing?
Good. Any publicity is good publicity.
That's not good publicity.
Yeah, it is. I mean, hey, if you have to drop,
I don't want to get drugged down by you two idiots.
It only took you 10 episodes to figure that out.
Oh my gosh! What the heck?
Listen, just roll with it, Dan. You just got to roll with it.
I don't want to roll with that.
It's
I don't even know what we're talking about now. I was doing a good job too.
You were. So go ahead. So he discovered that somebody was made a duplicate listing of his comic books that he was selling.
Yeah, he was upcharging it. He had his, I don't know if the numbers are right, $1,500. The guy made it $2,000, and he's selling them. And then Dave said, "Oh, I didn't know you could do that." And so Dave switched his pictures on his listing so they wouldn't look the same, which I thought was like why would he do his? Why don't he just report him for using his pictures? Because I don't think you can do that. And I didn't really think anything of it. But then I was rewatching I was watching today's episode, and it was someone commented at the last episode and said that you can use people's photos, and Dave said, "Oh yeah, you could do that. I know, but I just thought it was weird, like because it goes against drop shipping policies and stuff like that." But my point was, or my thing is, I don't think you can use people's pictures, can you? And then so that's what I'm thinking. And then someone in the comments was thinking the same thing. And then somebody else commented that you can use people's pictures, and they had some policy that says eBay you can use their pictures. So like I was totally confused. So I thought it'd be a good topic to talk about on a podcast, but clearly I was wrong because now this is very uncomfortable for me.
Well, now if you just give me a minute, give me a minute. I got to upload the new pictures that Dave.
What's going on?
Joe's not speaking from experience at all.
Yeah, thanks
in any way, shape, or form.
Thanks for letting me know that he changed the picture.
Episode 10 is as far as this podcast goes. At least with me. I'm out of here.
Again?
You guys suck. I'm so mad right now.
You're so mad. Listen, but it is against eBay policy to drop ship for sure. And you kind of opened my eyes to, Dan, why it's such a big deal when you brought this up, because we talked about this for a second, is that promoting a listing. So that guy could take Dave's exact same listing, and let's say he promoted it at 10-15% just to get it everywhere. Like it's that comic book is being seen everywhere because he is now promoting it. And if Dave isn't promoting it, his listing is being seen by, I mean, if you look at your promoted analytics, literally millions of people now, like millions of people could be seeing that comic book over Dave's, let's say 100,000 people, generic numbers, but because he's drop shipping, this person, not Joe, is drop shipping it, and they promoted it, but they listed it for $500 more. They're willing to take, and they don't even physically have to own the item in any way, shape, or form. They're just using eBay's tools to try to get the sale faster, or to try to land the sale before Dave does. And then what they would do is they would buy it from Dave for his asking price and ship it to their customer because they're listing. Yeah. So that's why I feel like it has to be against their policies, because now people are using that promoted tool almost like the wrong way. Like that's the wrong way to use that promoted tool. And it would also, it adds so many different variable to that.
The thing is, because in the video, Dave says, and we talked about this before, is that it's someone good. It's fine if someone wants to drop ship. I just assumed that everyone would agree that you can't just take someone's pictures and start using them. So I was curious. I thought it was kind of weird.
I worked for that company before I learned about eBay, working for a company selling for them on eBay. And real quick, like we had drop shippers that drop shipped from our web. So we had a website, and then we had the eBay store. And we had people that stole from our website and took the pictures from our website and then listed it on eBay. And it was basically the same listing as our website, not our eBay listing. And so we were able to take action against them because they were stealing from our website. But our company also was part of the eBay catalog. I don't know a lot about the eBay catalog, but if your stuff is in the eBay catalog and your pictures are in the eBay catalog, you're allowed to use that. You're basically saying when you add your item to the eBay catalog as a manufacturer of an item, that people can use that catalog picture.
Do they send the catalog out monthly, or is it bi-monthly?
It's
quarterly.
Actually, if you used to deliver the newspaper, it's actually in the newspaper every Sunday.
Oh.
No,
I was thinking like a big old JCPenney's catalog.
Oh no!
Like
imagine
spring, winter, Christmas. They'd have a Christmas. Is there a special eBay Christmas catalog?
It's a digital catalog, man.
Oh, okay.
But
Like
hey, if you, imagine how big that catalog would be for eBay. It'd be like,
well, if it's only specific cat stuff, maybe. What do you have to do to get in the catalog? You have to have a concierge.
You do have to have.
Yeah.
You got to know a guy named Joe out in Philly. He'll take care of you.
Skip from eBay Concierge has the hookup.
If you're not afraid to steal pictures, you can be part of the catalog.
The guy, someone, the policy they listed on here, there was a thing that says, "What are the most common reasons uploaded videos and images to be rejected by moderation?" Which I don't know. It says infringing content, video, image, or audio content that is used without permission from the respective rights owner is not allowed. So that's how I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. You still, I mean, once you post those pictures on eBay, do you still own them, or does eBay?
This other one, it says what is content allowed. And it says you may use images, video, or text on eBay as long as your use of that content does not infringe on third-party rights, and the content follows our offensive material. And it's like weird because it says both, right? Yeah,
way too much legal jargon for me. No. So I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't like.
I think this topic sucks. It's stupid. Let's change the subject.
What do you want to talk about, Dan?
I don't know anything else. I guess this is boring now.
I just got done wrapping Christmas presents. You guys,
that sounds like it sucks too. What else, Joe? Impress me. Tell me something funny.
Tell you something funny?
Yeah,
I don't have much.
Just say something.
I don't know. You want to resell them related? Resell them related. Tell
me about your Dodger ball. You bought a ball. Off of
eBay.
Yes,
I did buy a ball.
Joe sourced off of eBay and then resold it, right?
Yeah. Well, I originally
that might not be boring.
A 1993. You're right. A 1993 Dodger Stadium baseball. And when I was looking for, I bought it at the flea market for $1. And when I was listing it, I saw somebody had it for $5 on there. But the last 3 or 4 that were sold were like $40, $45, and things like that. But the guy spelled Dodger Stadium wrong. So I guess it wasn't coming up in the search, or was it, so I ended up listing mine. It sold for $40 right away. And then I went back in as soon as I sold it. I went back in and bought the $5 one. It was $5 shipping, $5 price with $5 shipping. And I listed it for $40, but it was really, that was pretty easy to do. Have you ever sourced off of eBay?
Man, I did one time a long time ago. I was just trying it just to see. And I bought a lot of Sony handheld cassette recorders, like recordable ones, and I did really good on it. I don't know why I never did it again. I bought like 4 of them for like $20, and I was selling them each for like $30 a piece, and they all worked and they all tested out fine. But I haven't done it since then. I just did that one.
When I first started selling on eBay, I would buy lots of remotes, and I would buy audiobooks. And I'd have them in my videos. And I'm like, I spent $1 for this. I sold it for $3. I sourced off of eBay to sell on eBay. And a lot of that stuff I've donated and got rid of because it was a bunch of junk. But I've never had any good luck doing that.
So you don't have.
No.
Yeah.
So,
have you ever bought like a bunch of, because like a lot of people buy clothes. Like a lot of people sell clothes in lots. It's promoted everywhere.
You mean like mystery boxes?
Mystery, like you don't know what you're getting exactly. Not just mystery though, like, hey, buy 3 pounds of vintage shirts from me to resell, and you don't know what you're getting.
I bought mystery boxes, and I'm always disappointed when I bought mystery boxes. I don't buy them anymore. I bought mystery boxes off of Poshmark. They're awful. I bought mystery boxes off of Instagram. They've been awful. More off of Instagram. They've just not been very good.
I just wonder, like, the stuff's got to be cherry picked, right? But like,
no, yeah.
I don't know if you're ever gonna. What are you gonna be happy with? If someone's building a mystery box, and they're gonna charge $100 for it, realistically are they gonna give you? What are they gonna be happy with giving you? Like,
what I think they're doing is they're going to the bins, and it gives them an option to buy more stuff at the bins to sell. it might not be the worst stuff. It's just not worth their time to list it individually. So if they go to the bins and they buy 3 pounds of vintage clothing for $6, and they can verify it's all vintage because they know the product, and then they sell it on eBay for 40, that's a good profit for them. And they're not lying. It is all vintage. And then the next person can sell the items for $10 a piece if they want to or whatever.
Yeah,
So
what is a good, like, realistically, if you buy a $50 mystery box, what do you expect the value of that to be?
I don't know. That's someone would be like, oh, if you buy it for 50, you know, I'll guarantee you like 150.
couple hundred.
But then like it's just say they want you want 3 extra money, and then how long is it going to take you to 3 extra money? What's the sell through? Like that's where I think you're like they might be honestly thinking they're giving you a good deal. Like they could be like, yeah, this stuff's worth $150 and they're only selling it for $50. Like, so they could be legitimate. But then when you get it, you're like, man, this is only like, it's going to take me forever to sell this. Like I bought a big old box of shoes, and I mean, I still have half the shoes still listed, and it's been like almost 2 years because they're going to take forever, and they probably never going to sell. But
yeah, I mean,
they found a comp or something. You're like, I'm getting a good deal on these shoes.
Let's say you can get 20 shirts for $40. Well, that's $2 a shirt. That doesn't seem terrible. But it's the work to list all the shirts, and then those shirts are probably worth 10 to 15 a piece if you're lucky, and they're going to sit for a long time. So yes, it feels like a good deal until you put all that time and effort into it, and then there's never going to be that big hitting high dollar item in one of those boxes. So it's a lot of work and it's a lot of time.
But I think when you get to like the vintage, if we're in that category of vintage resellers, I think it might be in other categories, but I feel like the vintage market, you could, depending on who you are as a seller, can get different prices that, you know, some of those, I mean, cause I watch them too. Some of the whatnot vintage t-shirt sellers and the Instagram vintage t-shirt sellers, depending on who you are and how many people you have in your show is, so they could be basing their value on something that is what they can get for it as opposed to what, not Iron Man can get, you know what I mean? For it.
Right.
In
Iron Man. Hold on. Did you just say Iron Man?
I did say Iron Man.
And it's a crazy market because like you said, people are selling vintage clothing everywhere, whatnot, pop-ups. Like when I lived in Denver, there were the teenagers, the t-shirt boys that were having pop-ups throughout the city everywhere, where they they were setting up their canopies and their tents and whatever, and they were putting their clothes out for sale right there. So it's in person, it's online, it's on Depop, it's on whatnot, it's in bundles. Like vintage clothing is being sold everywhere, and it's a huge market right now. Like and eBay might not be the best place to sell it.
Yeah.
So, have you ever sold on Grailed or Depop?
I haven't. Have you?
I've listed stuff on Depop. I sold something on Depop once, and then the guy wanted to cancel. So I didn't know how to cancel. I was trying to cancel, and then I refunded because they paid through PayPal, and I refunded his money, and then Depop kept telling me to ship the item, but I'm like, he canceled it. And then I sold it to someone on eBay, and then they kept on telling me to ship it. And then if you don't use your account for a while, it'll deactivate all your items. So I let it do that. And
So you're probably not allowed back on Depop.
I've probably been kicked off.
No.
To say you're not an ambassador over there would be an understatement.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand Depop at all.
I didn't even
you can cross list using Vendu, so I was like, oh, I'll just do that, and then it doesn't ever work.
But it's Sonia messed with it for a little bit, probably for a month ago. She was messing with trying, and it's some of those sites, man, making an account isn't as fun as you would think. And I'm being sarcastic. Like she didn't have, it was a pain in the butt to make the account, is what she found.
Oh, really?
And so that's kind of what held her up. And then she started to try to use she tried using Vendu. It would be a learning process for both of us because I've never used it.
Yeah. Where else are you listing? I thought you just listed on eBay.
that we were going to try cross. Our plan was to cross list all the clothing and hats that I currently have, because I probably, out of my 1,500 listings, I'd say 400 of it is hats and clothing that's just on eBay.
Oh,
okay. And I thought, well, let's try someone like Depop and Grailed and Poshmark with that stuff. I don't have to put my hard goods over there, just the hats and the clothing and the shoes.
Yeah.
But we didn't get too far.
I started at Poshmark. I started with just jeans and shoes because I was doing it all by myself. Because it was we've mentioned it before. Well, about the shipping, because it was everything. All the shoes are gonna be over 2 pounds. Most jeans are gonna be over 2 pounds. So you could save on shipping. So I feel like people would look for that stuff there.
What was the shipping when it was like $7 or something? What was
it's like $7.97, I think now still. Okay. But it used to be $7.30 something. I mean, it goes up a little bit every year too, but still, I mean, it's decent, right?
Yeah, it's cheaper.
Up to 5 pounds. Up to 5 pounds is that one price. So,
and they have flat shipping. It's all flat.
Yeah,
but they also have a higher. They have a higher. What's it called? I know if you promote.
Oh, you're talking about their fees,
right?
Yeah, you pay 20% in fees, but like I basically I promote on eBay all my items at 5%. So like I'm basically paying close to 20% anyway.
Yeah. So it can definitely, because I promote too. Yeah, I don't know. I just never. We tried it. We didn't get very far.
When you follow people if you follow people on Instagram and stuff, when they share stuff on Poshmark has, you generally you can ask for more than eBay. So you might be able to make more. I know recently I sold a pair of jeans because I'm not very good at, on Poshmark, I'm pretty lazy on looking at pricing and what I had stuff. And I just mentioned that I I listed jeans and shoes, what I started with. I had a pair of jeans on there that I've had listed for, over 2 years. And I listed for $38 or $40, but on like eBay I had them for like $25, and they sold full price on Poshmark. And I was willing to probably take $20 by now on eBay because I had kept on messing with the pricing on that.
So that leads me to a question that I think is a good question for someone that cross lists like that. What's your go-to for pricing? Like if you're listing on all those platforms, where do you check prices across all of them, or where's your go-to for the price you're going to sell it at?
I use eBay for all my comps, and then when I list everything on eBay, and then when I cross list I use Vendu, and then whatever my price is, I kind of have I don't really have a very smart way of doing it, but I'm just like, if something's like $20, I might make it 25, or if I really know it's probably, if I have it listed at 20 and it's probably worth less than that, I might make it 24. So if I send an offer or something, so it gives you room to send an offer. I usually add $5.
So wait, if it's worth 20, you're listing for 25.
Yeah, basically.
All right. That might not be.
Why is that funny?
No, I'm just not. I'm not good at math, Dan. And I was trying, but if you said no, I'm just because
I do like little things to mess with. Like I leave little things to tell me if someone sends me an offer. I'm like, okay, maybe I have it listed for $17, $16 on eBay. I'll list it for $24 on there. So I know I'm like, yeah, I have this kind of listed pretty low.
I got you, Dan.
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Well, I mean, we talked about the kind of people that price it higher than what it's worth.
When did we talk about that?
Drop shipping.
Oh,
I'm just messing. No. So is there a place on Poshmark to, like, can you look at solds and easily search sold? Because I don't know anything about Poshmark.
I'm not very. You can comp stuff on. You can look up to see what it's sold for. Can I tell you? I don't really probably couldn't tell you how to do it. Right. I know I used to try to comp on Macari, because a lot of people will tell you, like, Macari's, they're like, oh, some stuff would go more on there too, and you can comp on there too. But how many? I don't know if it tells you if it's as good as eBay on telling you how many have listed, how many have sold, and how in the last 90 days. Yeah. So it seems like eBay's the best at that. Macari seems very it's just like a friendly place to list stuff. It's not serious. It doesn't feel serious.
Nothing like this podcast.
Well, do you have different price?
No, this podcast sucks.
Thanks, Dan.
It's not friendly. It's not professional.
No, you know what I'm saying though. Like it's not. They don't feel like you have no tools. Like you don't have any. I mean, you can't do anything on there, really, right?
But do you have different prices per like Poshmark? I know you said you listed up a little bit. How about Macari? Do you list it up? Like, how do you keep track of what your
my price? Well, so on like Macari, it's the same price as eBay, but I just add the shipping, and then because I sell shoes and clothing, I know, and I do flat rate shipping.
So what do you do? That free shipping on?
I do free shipping on Macari,
and that's so you can print your own label. You don't have to use their.
Right, they have some crazy tier system they do
for shipping.
For shipping, I don't have to mess with it.
Yeah, I used to.
This is boring. This is boring too.
What do you want to talk about, Dan?
Dan, what do you want to talk about? Get it off your chest.
Something fun.
Something fun.
Yeah,
I don't do. Oh, I'm gonna go see Wonka. After we're done here, I'm gonna go see the new Wonka movie. Is that fun?
Kind of.
I don't have
like
a movie podcast yet, but I'm gonna go see that movie anyways. The new one with Timothy what's his name? Timothy Chalamet
I have no idea.
That kid that's playing. You don't even know about the new Wonka movie?
Well, I've heard of it. I've heard there's a new Wonka movie, but I don't know who's playing.
Yeah, it came out today. I'm gonna go see it.
It can't be good, right?
It's getting good reviews. So, I'm on Rotten Tomatoes.
I forgot about them.
How the movies? You got movies a lot?
That was my nickname back in high school, Rotten Tomatoes. No, so the way when I go to watch a movie, I always check the reviews because I don't look at the critic score though. I look at the audience score, and then I read a couple. And it's getting some. It is a musical though.
But it just came out today. It's a musical too.
It's a musical.
The first one was a musical.
That's snooze.
It just came out today. How many reviews are there?
Over a bunch already because it came out midnight last night, and a lot of people go see it when it first comes out.
Do people get dressed up as Willy Wonka?
I don't know.
Are you going to get dressed up?
The little kid the little chunky kid that got sucked up through the chocolate. I should get dressed up as.
It's probably bad. People will probably. I don't think I ever seen Willy Wonka.
You ever seen Willy Wonka?
I don't think I ever.
No, come on.
I probably should have said that.
Yeah,
you probably shouldn't have. You're drop shipping people stuff. You have never seen Willy Wonka.
So in the future, so this is maybe the next one. You could tell us how great Willy Wonka was. Are you gonna watch any Christmas movies? You watch any Christmas movies?
I have. Yeah, I watched Home Alone. I watched Four Christmases. I actually like Four Christmases.
That's pretty good. That's with don't tell me, Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, and Reese
Witherspoon.
Yeah, I watched Fred Claus. The man, it's like the worst, best Christmas movie all in one.
I watched that last year. What are you guys selling?
That's with Vince Vaughn too, though.
I saw someone had Fred Claus and some other. Oh, Elf. Elf was a double feature. Someone was selling. I was looking at eBay store the other day.
Ew.
And I almost pulled the trigger on that. But
I have my must sees that I save right up until and I watch them 5 days out. Elf, and then It's a Wonderful Life.
Ooh, I like that one.
I already watched Scrooged, but I'll watch Scrooged again because I love that movie with Bill Murray. Scrooged. The Disney version of A Christmas Carol, is that right? The animated one where Jim Carrey does the voice.
Oh, yeah.
That I love that movie for some reason. That's on my list. And then I always on Christmas Day like A Christmas Story. I love that.
Did you watch that new Christmas Story last year?
Yeah, it was actually pretty good too.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Have you seen 8-Bit Christmas?
Yeah, I watched that last year.
That's like our generation's version of A Christmas Story.
Yeah, I like that. I watched that last year.
What was it called?
8-Bit Christmas. I'm trying to. I don't remember who's in it. Who's in it? It's somebody. I don't remember.
I feel like I'm not in the spirit now. I guess I got to watch a Christmas movie. I don't know.
I recommend Joe if you haven't seen 8-Bit Christmas. So you've seen A Christmas Story where he gets the red rifle. Yeah. Well, 8-Bit is when we were kids and we wanted a Nintendo. and parents were kind of against video games for a little bit and stuff. So like it's all about that, how his parents weren't going to get him a Nintendo and how he really wanted a Nintendo. So it's, for my age, super fun.
It's got Neil Patrick Harris. That's who it is.
Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, I know it was good. I watched that last year, I think.
Maybe I'll check that out since I haven't watched really any. I think we watched Home Alone. Well, we didn't sit down and watch it. It was on Home Alone.
The first Home Alone?
Santa Claus, like
the Santa Claus?
Oh,
yeah.
That's a good one. I like that one.
What
I
about
like the Grinch. Have you seen the Grinch yet?
The Grinch.
Which one?
Jim Carrey.
Oh.
You don't like that, do you?
I'm going to tell you a true story right here, right now. I watched that from beginning to end for the first time this year.
That was good, right?
It's better than I've always imagined, than I always thought it was. Seen it in bits and pieces. I never was like, ugh. And I've seen the majority of it, but this time I actually, I'm going to sit down and watch, because everybody loves this movie. I'm going to sit down and watch it from beginning to end. And it wasn't terrible. It wasn't.
It was good. It's one of my favorite. I think I like it better than Elf. It's really good.
No, but that's
it's really good. I like Home Alone 2 better than Home Alone.
Joe, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Probably Home Alone.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
That was a good one. I do like that one. I like Home Alone.
I remember. I don't know when did that come out. When did Home Alone
1990, I think.
90 something. Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember.
I remember driving to Blockbuster to get the. I didn't drive. My mother drove me to Blockbuster and we bought it.
Yeah, I could just remember being obsessed with it when I was younger.
On VHS. We watched it all the time.
Then the kids like it. Riley's not too much into it. I don't think she really understands it yet, but she'll probably.
Let me go.
I had a computer game Home Alone.
What's that?
I had a computer game Home Alone I played as a kid. I had like the floppy disk. You had like 8 discs to load into the computer to play it. You hide everything around the house.
The little square blocks.
The only computer game I ever played was Oregon Trail. The worst game
you played?
Yeah,
that's the only computer game I've ever played.
I remember thinking the first time, and I think I did the math. I was like 14 when Home Alone came out or something like that. And I just remember thinking it was the funniest thing in the world when they were getting hurt, when they're like, burning their hand and the iron is falling and he falls down the stairs and steps on the nail. Like I remember dying laughing out loud at that age. Now when I watch it, it's it's fun, it's cool, but I remember back then I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. So I get where you guys are going. Like as a teenager, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, when it came out in 1990, yeah, I guess it was.
I'm pretty sure that's when it came out.
Yeah, I think that's right. My favorite, I don't know, I'm kind of a nostalgic kind of guy now that I'm older. My favorite movie is It's a Wonderful Life.
I do like that one. You ever seen it in color?
I've seen both. I prefer to watch it now in black and white, but I've seen the remastered. Yeah. I just remember as a kid, my parents, we would watch that every year. And now that I'm older, I'm like, man, I get it. I really like that movie. But
it's such a good movie. That's a good movie.
Yeah. It's a good tale about a young lad who grows up to be a good man.
He's pretty old in that.
Sounds like this podcast.
Yeah, right. It's just like Dan when he's drop shipping stuff. He's a good man.
I have drop shipped before. When I first started reselling, drop shipping was going to be a huge part of my business because I had no idea what it was. I went to that work and this guy was like, why don't you just like take stuff, like just take a picture of it or take the picture and post it on eBay. And then when someone buys it, you just buy it from there and put it over and send it to them. Like, I'm like, I didn't really think of that. And then I was getting ready for work one day. I'm like, I wouldn't have to do anything. So then I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it on my eBay store. I have two eBay accounts and one of them I use for cards and I wasn't selling cards at the time. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go do it over there. So I go and I look and I put some board games. I was really into board games when I first started selling. I put board games on there from Amazon, and there was this board game, Monopoly Unicorns versus Llamas, that was like huge. It was huge, and listed it and sold it. I listed it on eBay, and then I after a day I got a sale. I was like, oh, I got a sale.
Ew.
So I sold it for. It was like I think it was listed on Amazon for like 20, and I had it listed for like 30. And then on top of like the shipping. I was definitely going to lose money when I sold this.
You
No, I was going to lose money
in this. I got real.
No, I was going to lose money. So they sold, and I was like, oh, cool. Let me go buy it on Amazon so I can ship it to the person. I go to Amazon, and it was sold out on Amazon.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh, what am I going to do? Like, what am I supposed to do? So I'm searching everywhere for this game. Cannot find it. I found it on before, like years ago. I was like, oh, let me try this, because I used to buy I would find there's a show, Joey from Friends. He had a TV show spinoff, and episode or season 2 would only was released on DVD in other country. So at the time, I was buying it from Amazon in Canada and shipping it to me. Like I was buying it in bulk, shipping it to me here, and then I was listing it on eBay and selling it for like $100. But I was like buying it for like the $20 on eBay or on Amazon. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy Llamas versus Unicorns on Amazon Canada. So I go there, they have it available. I'm like, oh, it's easy. And then so I go to buy it on Canada Amazon. It would not allow international shipping. So I was like, oh, what am I gonna do now? So I go on Amazon, and now there's people that are selling this game on Amazon, and they see that it's sold out, so they raised the price to an outrageous amount of price. So I ended up spending $75 on a $20 game to sell to $30, so I could ship it to the guy.
You should have just bought Monopoly and then just like cut out a picture of a llama and a unicorn and just slapped it on the front. Like
this, the story goes on too. This makes me even like more of an idiot.
All right, keep it going.
A very bad person. This is a very bad person. Later on, I keep checking. So Amazon versus Llamas versus Unicorns versus Llamas Monopoly on Amazon becomes available again before I have to ship it out. So now I've bought it again to drop ship to the guy. Then I canceled the order that I had from the other guy that I spent $75 or $90. I don't remember. Canceled it on that guy because now I can get it cheaper. And then it gets delivered and I do all that. And I don't know what I'm going to do. So I ended up buy like 10 copies of this game so I can ship it to my house. And then I just listed it on eBay. And so when it would sell, it would sell. So then I ended up with selling it when it would go off, when it would run out on Amazon. And I did that for a while. And I think I gave a copy away. It was actually my very first video on my channel was about this, exact story.
I'm gonna go watch.
No, I took it down. I took it down because I made like this literally seriously. My very first night, I was sitting in bed. This is November. I started watching Resellers in July. And so we're in like 7 months later, and I just been itching to do basically kind of like about a year wanting to do a podcast. I was just like, oh, I really want to do a channel. I don't know what to do a channel. And there's stories in my head. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna tell this story. So I wrote out a script of everything I'm gonna say. And I came into this room and I was like, I had a sweatshirt on, a hat. I'm sweating and I'm talking and I'm just talking in circles. And I tell this story and I put it out and it gets like, I don't know, probably 30 views. And after a while, I'm like, this has nothing to do with reselling. This is probably the absolute dumbest thing I've done. I've done a lot of dumb things, but this was absolutely stupid.
I want to see this video. I want to see you like wiping your brow.
I would stop because on top of not knowing how to do, like, I'm not saying I know how to make a video now. But at the time, I have no clue what I'm doing. Like, I was on my phone. I'm like just looking, and I would stop, and then I was like, "All right, come on, you can do this." And then I'd go back. I had no idea how to do the edit. I'm not saying I know how to edit now, but it was way worse than it was. Way worse. We're like a few years in now. It was very bad. It is.
Do you have access to that video at all in any way?
Yeah, it's private. You know what? I will. If
you're gonna make it live again,
you made it this because we're probably got to be about done. If you made it this far, I'm going to unlist it, and I'll put it in the description of this video. If you really want to watch it, I'll do that. I don't. It's just I didn't want to have people like watch it and actually think that like this is probably a good idea. So I just felt like I probably shouldn't have this out here anymore. I'm not like I'm embarrassed by it. But
change the title. Change the title. This is
No,
now how
and then a
not-
couple of videos later, I have another video. This one's out there. It's like Art Vandalay 219. That was the channel name versus llamas versus something. It was like the title, and it was like one of my biggest videos at the time. I thought it went viral, but all these people were mad because they were searching YouTube for llamas, and they see my. I was gonna say a cuss word. They just see me, and I'm like, it's bad. This is, I guess, it's almost like a kind of a thing to get you guys to watch my old videos. But I will, if you really care, you can watch it. There's only been like 40 people have seen it, but I'll put it. It's in the description. Most of the time, if you haven't figured out, we gotta do something at the end of the video to see who. It's nice to see the people who've watched this all the way to the end, because usually it's shock value at the end.
Yeah. If you're still watching and you want to watch Dan's first video, let us know in the comments down below.
No, it's in there. I'll put it in there.
You go.
Yeah, so go to the link below and then comment to us about. Oh, it's there now, or you're gonna put it there now?
I'll put it. No. I mean, it'll be there by the time this comes out.
Yeah, and then so
wait, are we recording live? Are we live?
We're live right now. Yeah, you haven't been watching the comments this whole time.
Oh, Joe, I'm never good at comments.
No, but
I don't see.
Let's go to the future. If you're watching this right now, and you went and clicked on the link and watched Dan's first video, let us know down below what you think about his Monopoly versus llamas versus unicorns versus
Art Vandalay
versus Art Vandalay.